You know, I was in Nigeria the end of December going into January, and I was ministering at a church, and they had this moment where they did an interview, and the pastor's wife, she asked me an interesting question. She said, Stephanie, what happened? Because I noticed when there was this sudden shift in your life, and all of a sudden you started traveling everywhere to speak. And she said, what exactly happened? I said, this is not a generic answer. It was the Lord. When I got married, I was the one who wanted to, let's just travel for a year or two before we started bringing children. And the Lord had other plans. And one thing I told the Lord, I said, I will never be in your way when it comes to the children you have desired to come into this home. I know I have my will, I have my desires, but I'm not going to be in your way because I know I don't have the capacity to only trust in my husband and I's ability to raise these children. If your hand is not in it, I will freak out. I will have anxiety. I will panic. Every little thing, I'm going to be losing my mind. I said, but if you're in it, I'm cool. So whatever you desire, I'm good with it. So when the Lord revealed to my husband and I that it was time for our first daughter, and I was like, okay, cool. We submitted to that. The Lord told me how old I would be when I would be a mom, and he reminded me of that. He said, don't forget, I showed you this. And I said, okay, Lord, we're just going to travel with her. So when I got pregnant with her, then the Lord says to me that after her birth, this was so interesting. When I would get invitations to minister in different places, but it was always within certain regions. The Lord says to me, I will open up the nations for you because what you're going to do in the nations is connected to the calling on your child. Do you see the alignment? So the nations opening up was not just him giving me a pat on the back. He says, because you aligned with my plan, now I will open up the nations to you. When I tell you, that year we received speaking invitations from every part of the continent, except, what's it called, Antarctica. But there were places where the Lord says, not yet. But he says, but I wanted to show it to you, that now I will open it up for you. And when I told the lady, I said, it was nothing I did. It was the same message. It was nothing I did. It was just what the Lord desired to do. When you get in the shape of what God desires out of you, there are things hustling cannot open. You see, something I've learned about God, man, we have this hustle mentality, and I believe in excellence. I believe with what you have, do things to your best. But if the hand of God is not in it, it's not going to do what it's supposed to do.